So a lot of y'all have been asking, was there ever a link between Prince and Diddy? Well, yes, there were three shady connections. Let's start with the first one. Prince spent his whole life fighting the Warner Brothers record label. He was fighting against artist exploitation and industry slavery, but Diddy was allegedly out there doing the exact opposite, pocketing profits, silencing artists, and blackballing anyone who dared to speak out. It's almost poetic. Prince was the rebel trying to burn the system down. Diddy? He allegedly was the system.
The reason why it became such a big deal back then is ever since my third album, I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise, and they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist much longer.
Prince did not hesitate to say that we don't even need record companies in this era.
Kids today, I mean, they're so talented and sophisticated. I mean, they can create their albums on laptops. They can do the artwork themselves. They can deliver it through the internet. They can be their own distribution service. I mean, what do we really need record companies for? We're against them or anything like that. The idea is that we find better ways of working with one another. It shouldn't be a situation where they own the album or the work. We're talking about intellectual copyrights. If they're going to be indeed a delivery service, then that's fine. But even FedEx doesn't say that they own the thing that they ship.
Connection number two, Prince actually let Diddy use his house for parties, but never showed up himself. Why? Allegedly, Prince had his suspicions. He knew something wasn't right with those freak-offs. He didn't want any part of what Diddy was doing behind closed doors.
First Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party. That is the one thing that I thought was odd, because I came one time with my security and no other security other than Diddy's security is allowed to be inside.
Connection number three, Prince's estate was actually in a legal battle with Jay-Z over streaming rights. Yup, Jay was allegedly distributing Prince's music on Tidal illegally. Oh, and let's not forget, Jay was super tight with Diddy before all the lawsuits started rolling in. But here's the dark part. People who try to expose Diddy, Jay-Z, or record labels like Warner, it never ends well. And Prince tried to warn us about that. You see, Prince fought for artist rights his entire career. He was obsessed with owning his records and staying in control, but that fight came with a price. And some believe he paid the ultimate price, his life. They said that he lost his life because of an OD, but the people who knew him say otherwise.
Right. What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so, that also really concerned me, because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
That's what's so frightening to me.
Was Warner Brothers involved in his death? Nobody knows for sure, but fans have their suspicions. Prince signed with Warner back in 1977. His early albums flopped, but Warner kept him because he had potential. By 1984, Purple Rain made him the biggest name in pop. And when he started his own label, Paisley Park, Warner still handled the distribution. That's when the fight started. Prince realized he wasn't getting what he deserved, so he went to war with Warner publicly. Remember when he had slave written on his face? That wasn't just a fashion statement. He even changed his name to a symbol to break free from their control. And when Warner refused to sell him back his masters, he promised to re-record everything. Prince said it best, "You can give your money to Warner Brothers, or to me, you choose. He kept calling out the system in interviews, speeches, and even at award shows. And now, looking at everything happening with Diddy, Prince's warnings hit way harder.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop, let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
In 2007, he went full beast mode and announced he was taking legal action against YouTube, eBay, and even the Pirate Bay for using his music without permission. Eventually, he got his name back and worked out a deal with Warner, but not long after that, Prince was gone. And not just gone, he died under super suspicious circumstances. They said he was 57, found unresponsive in his Minnesota estate. But here's the chilling part. He was found in an elevator, the same elevator he once called the devil.
The one thing that, kind of spooked me about it all was he has a song called Let's Go Crazy.
Yeah.
And it says, don't let the elevator bring us down.
And he died.
One time when I was with him privately, he said, you know what the elevator is, right?
No.
I said, no, what's the elevator? He said, well, the elevator is the devil, right?
Oh.
It scared me. I don't like to talk like that, but he said that. And so for me, it was like really haunting.
In the weeks before his death, Prince wasn't doing well and people noticed. He canceled shows, made an emergency landing, and reportedly got a shot of anti-opiate after an OD. But here's the sketchy part. If he OD'd just weeks earlier, why wasn't he under a doctor's care? Like, at all? You'd think someone that ill wouldn't be cleared to tour unless they were being properly monitored. But nope, Prince was on his own. And get this, Prince knew something was coming. He posted a photo with a message that read, "Just when you thought you were safe," then deleted it. And at his final appearance at Paisley Park just days before his death, he reportedly told people, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." I'll be honest, that sounds like a man who saw the end coming. Many believe he was unalived, and they're not just fans. Even Kanye West has hinted at it. Some even say Kanye is the modern-day Prince. Both fought the same fight: ownership, control, and exposing the machine. And just like Prince, Kanye's been paying the price.
You get what I'm saying? Like when we sign someone, we don't sign someone. We're signing someone to the bigger Vivendi slave ship, to the bigger universal slave ship. Right. Y'all saying, all his tweets was crazy. You know why Prince gave me the song Jail? Because he liked what I did. And he's like, I like what you did with them contracts.
You said Prince gave it to you. Right.
Man, he definitely, guess who's going to jail tonight? You know what I'm saying? A Gemini spirit.
People who don't, because he was on that tip.
Yeah.
Just people who don't know, you talking about Prince.
Yeah, I'm talking about
ass out Prince.
And Prince trying to get away from corporations, disconnect.
Prince with the slave on his cheek.
Slave on it.
Diddy and Warner Music Group had a joint venture deal that gave Warner 50% ownership of Bad Boy Records. They handled all of Diddy's distribution worldwide for his music, Mace's, Biggie's, and more. Diddy bragged about the deal, saying it gave them the perfect structure and backing to dominate the industry. But that's exactly what Prince had been fighting his whole life: control, exploitation, and artist slavery. And Diddy? Do we even need to list all the bad boy artists he allegedly screwed over? That list is basically a novel. And here's the kicker. Right before those lawsuits started rolling in, Diddy suddenly began giving publishing rights back to former artists, including Biggie. But many of them said it was too late. He had already drained the value. What he handed back was worthless. Allegedly, this was one of Prince's biggest issues with him, because Prince fought to build artists up, and Diddy allegedly cashed them out and left them behind.
What did Puff do to piss you the off? How did he do you dirty, if he did you dirty?
Me and Puff was like, I felt like I did more than I got credit for, more than I got paid for.
You felt, or did you do that? Because you said felt, like
okay,
feeling.
let's clear that up then.
You saying you feeling that?
No, we gonna keep it with, because I'm trying to be nice. I never got paid what I was worth, and I never got the respect I was worth. So the disdain that I got for Puff is more like, you trying to keep me here. I'm not here. All my peers is up here. All my peers are bosses. When it's time, just like somebody raised somebody up, you know they did work with you, they go from your little man to maybe A&R to something else. He just kept trying to keep me right here, like he didn't want me to grow at anything.
Prince probably knew the truth about those freak-offs Diddy was throwing.
First Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party. That is the one thing that I thought was odd, because I came one time with my security and no other security other than Diddy's security is allowed to be inside.
And wanted nothing to do with them. I mean, why would you want to confiscate people's phones just to allow them to enter the party? So maybe after that party at Prince's house, Diddy showed his true colors and Prince cut ties for good. And when it comes to Jay-Z, Prince once trusted him too. Big mistake. The Tidal deal turned into a legal mess after Prince's estate accused Roc Nation of faking documents and illegally uploading 15 of his albums. So when Prince warned us about the machine, he wasn't just talking about shady labels. He meant people like Diddy and Jay-Z, powerful, protected, and allegedly ruthless. And like so many before him, Prince might have paid the ultimate price for speaking out.